At the weekend, I was at the cathedral to see Helen ordained priest, and it was a very joyful occasion. But as is so often the case with the Church of England, why use 5 words when you can use 500? So I'm just going to chat with Helen to find out how she's reflected on that and what it meant for her. So Helen, it was brilliant to be with you and your family and friends as you were ordained in the cathedral last Saturday. How was that for you? Can you tell us something about how that felt? What was going on for you?
It was amazing. It was kind of like I wouldn't say it was the culmination, because in a way it's like just a marker on the journey, but it's a significant marker on this journey that I started a few years ago when, to my huge surprise, I felt God was calling me or asking me to be ordained as a minister or in the Church of England, a minister being, you know, a leader in the Church of England. So, but it was a really joyful occasion. I really felt the love, actually, of so many people and the prayers and hopes, and I was really grateful.
Fantastic. So you say that God called you or asked you or encouraged you into this. What did that look like?
Well, the person that was one of the leaders of the church that I was with at the time said to me, have you thought about being ordained, you know, being one of those people who wears one of these collars?
Yeah.
And I thought, no, of course not, you must be joking. But I said I'd pray about it and think about it and talk to people. So I did go and talk to somebody in the diocese, of the diocese senior staff, and she said, had I read anything about it? And I thought, no, I've only seen what other people do on Sundays. I don't really know. And it was when I read that book, which was actually I read it in my hairdresser's. At the time I had my hair dyed, so you have to sit there for quite a long time. And I thought I may as well read something that I need to be reading. And as I read it, it was like a page turner, and my eyes started watering, because I thought, yes, this is what I really, really want to do. And then one day I was praying and I opened my Bible, and a particular verse sort of jumped out at me in a way that I'd never understood it as before. It was using a word that we don't use in everyday language, but sanctified. And we're everybody is sanctified who's been baptised and belongs to Jesus. But it was kind of, the meaning of it when I looked in the footnotes was sort of like set apart for a particular purpose for God. So that was another bit in the jigsaw, really.
So it's people, it's what other people have written, it's scripture. It's something in your gut, maybe?
Well, not for me, not gut. It was actually a dream I had. Now, you know, I do believe that God speaks to us, and dreams are sometimes one of the more unusual ways. You know, it's not. Sometimes I get a kind of like an image in my head, or just a phrase that comes or something. But this time it was kind of in this time of praying about it, and I had a really vivid dream where there were lots of people gathered around the outside of the church, and there was kind of like it's not so much a picnic, because our local vicars were handing people some food as we're all sitting around, and they ran out. And in my dream, it was as if God said to me, oh, you go and get something to eat and give it to the rest of them.
Right.
So I thought, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's really powerful. Yeah, brilliant. So you're ordained priest now, and you've said something about, you know, that being, you feeling that is what God's encouraged you to do. And how do you live that out? What does that look like in your day-to-day life?
I think it's about worshipping, being a worshipper, and a person who tries to pay attention to what God's saying, which we all do if we're following God and seeking to be obedient to Him. But you know, it's, if you've been asked to kind of set an example, which I think was one of the many words that was said on Saturday, then that is something to particularly pay attention to, really. So that's a key thing.
Yeah.
And then the bishop was particularly advising or encouraging us to do that, to recognise when God might, in the course of a day, sort of give you a nudge to do something or to say something or to be somewhere particular, and even if that means setting aside the schedule. Though of course, you know, as probably lots of people know, vicars do have quite a lot of scheduled things in the diaries, as you know.
Yes.
Very well, and I see in the calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and those sort of things are obviously leading or being part of services on Sundays, but and funerals and baptisms and weddings sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's also about encouraging people in other ways.
Yeah.
We do a lot of writing, don't we? And
Yeah.
Emails and writing communications to the group, and then seeing people in their homes as well.
Yeah. And so all of it really, all of those different aspects, it's about coming alongside other people.
Yeah.
With an awareness of God.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think so, and I think particularly to be among people who don't turn up on Sundays regularly.
Yeah.
I think that's a really big part, don't you, of what we need to do.
Yeah.
And need to be encouraging all of us who are in that building on Sunday to do.
Yes. And yes, that's exactly what was just going through my head. That actually being alongside other people with an awareness of what God's doing and saying. It is a call for all of us. We don't need a big fancy service and a bit of plastic round annex to be part of that. So what would you say to somebody who might have a little inkling in them? Is this something that God's encouraging me to do?
I think it's praying about it, and then when I say that, I think for so long, many years, I've not kind of known what people meant when they say pray about it, but I think I'd say like having an open mind and open heart and open attitude, and these kind of open ears and open mind at night time when you're not conscious as well. Just see what God drops in and as you said, through other people's words to you and what you read. What is God saying? And if we ask Him, He will give us the answer to our prayer. I don't think He's going to kind of say, well, I'm not telling you. If you ask, he's because it's a parent-child relationship, and God is a good mum and dad.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, I'm delighted that you're alongside us, and I do thank God for you, and it's been a real pleasure to have this chat. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you for everything.